Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is G. You're watching All Astrology, and we're in the star room. It's Saturday night, August 16th, and we do live readings. If you want a reading, make sure I have your digits, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. If you've never been here before, you want to get your digits to me, you want to email them to me. Email is right below, allastrology@gmail.com. And the rules for the queue are also in the details down below. So let me go ahead and put that information here as well. I hope I spelled it right. Let's see. allastrology@gmail.com. Yeah, so I try to make sure I get to everybody. For people who send a gift to the channel, I spend more time on their charts. For those that do not do that, depending upon how many people I have and the workload, yeah, it could be a very short turn for you, or yeah, it just depends on who's all here and what kind of stuff we got to do. So let me get to the chat. Well, let me finish burning my stuff here. Let me finish burning my stuff. Hold on one second here. My cedar. Got to do my cedar. It is it 9:30? Yes, it is. All right, we're on time tonight. Woohoo. Last week we ended early. If it's slow, I leave. I value my time. I'm not gonna lollygag. Speaking of which, for those who want a reading but don't want it done in this format, you can come by. Well, actually, send me an email, because we do a private live, which is limited space for the private live streams, but it's set up the same way. Okay. But it's a smaller, more intimate setting, way more intimate. But if you email me below, I can give you the details. Again, those are limited space, and those are the last Saturday of every month. Okay. I think I've answered, or hopefully I've covered everything. I probably didn't cover everything, but let me get moving here. As the evening goes on, more people tend to come in. So let me get to work. And let me see who's all here. And then let's see. Oh, by the way, yes, for people who've sent money already, thank you very much. I saw a couple of notifications, so that's great. And Stacy, thank you for covering last week and this week. I appreciate that, and thank you for all that you do in keeping this organized, keeping us sane. Let's see here. So find the chat. Okay. All right. So it's not too different tonight. Sometimes it's crazy. Magically Intuitive is here. Hello. Magic and Abatha and Teamwork. Hello, hello. Christy's here. What's going on, Amiga? Stacy. Yes. Stacy still flooding up that way. Yeah, right. What the hell, right? Yeah. Alaska. Specifically Juneau, right? Yes. I sent you an email. Drawing momentum. No. You must be not reading the email address, because you didn't send me an email. Or if you did, it's in the spam. Yeah. No email from you. Again, the email address, it's right below in the digits, right below. You can copy paste it right out of there. Let me see real quick. It's right there as well. You can copy paste it if you want to do that. Yep. Oh, Stacy's got me a list. Hey, Alyssa, I see you. Hello, Renee. Renee, how the hell are you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's been a minute. Hello, Donna. Hello, Lou S. I know, I'm sure. Jesse's here. Jess, that's too funny. Teamwork, I said hello, I think. Yeah, Jess, you popped in my head before we went live. And there's Jess. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about. All right, let's move along. Let's take a look. Oh, I appreciate that, Stacy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okie dokie. So the private live for this month, the last Saturday of the month, that is full. It is booked. Has been the September one. I have to double check, but if you want in on it, send me an email. There might be a spot available. I really don't have any clue. I have to check. I have to check. All right. So we got the current list, magically intuitive. If you're not going, if you don't want me looking at your stuff, please say pass. Maybe you already did. I'm just reminding people, say that you've passed or that you're passing. For those of you, like I said, who've sent money, I will spend more time in your charts. Everyone else, we're just going to go like that. We're flowing fast. All right. Magically intuitive, Abatha, teamwork, pass. Teamwork is passing. Christy is passing. Okay. Thank you. Stacy, drawing momentum. Donna Marie, pass. Hey, Donna, how are you? I don't think I said hello to you. Lou S, pass. Renee Gomez. All righty. Let's get on the bus here. Let's get moving. Yeah. Speaking of, yeah, yeah, I know I've been having a lot of tech crap. Okay. So, magically, I'm assuming that means that you're up. You just kind of want to take a peek. That's what we'll do. We'll take a quick peek for sure. Magically, let me get you on here. Let's see what we're looking at here. Let me get the big M and, yeah. Oh, wow. Stuff just kind of switched up. Switched up here. Hold on. We're going to get our stuff together here and let's get this going. All right. So we got magically here. And we can get this going on the screen so we can see. Let me get that gone so we can see what's up here. Okie dokie. All right, so magically, what's changed for you recently, too? Well, for all of us, Mercury is no longer at 4 degrees. Yeah, now it's at 6 degrees in the Leo energy. And magically, that matters because that means Mercury just moved into your 4th house of mom, home, and family, feelings, and emotions. Okay? That just happened. And then you're going to have the sun touching upon your Mars. It's going to give you a burst of energy. All right? So the sun's at 24. Mars is at 29 in your chart. And you got a Mars that's conjunct Regulus. So, yeah, that burst of energy, yeah. That's one of those things where you just kind of want to think first before you act. With Mars, we get into trouble when we're super impulsive, right? When we're very easily irritated, irritable, and angry, because that's Mars energy in general. So some people literally need to go and do like a punching bag thing or need to have some sort of a physical challenge to their Mars energy, and so you're going to have the sun lighting it up. Now it's not long, it's just for a couple of days, but it matters, and then you're going to have the planet Mars up in the sky entering into your 6th house too. That'll be towards the end of the week though, but it will make your day-to-day routines busy and very active, very active. Domestic stuff too, whether it's cleaning the house, reorganizing, whether it's working towards your health. It is in relationships because it's Libra, right? But in your sixth house, it's Virgo energy. So you might find yourself maybe being a little bit more hypercritical, you know, because Libra wants things, it's Venus wants things just so imperfect and beautiful, beautiful in the home for sure, but there should be balance. And so when it goes into the sixth, we got to, we think of Virgo energy, and sometimes Virgo can get a little hyper focused on how it could just be better, damn it. That's not good enough, right? And yeah, we can get caught up in that and causes problems. Unless we live alone, then we got no one to blame but ourselves. But we could even be that same way with our pets. Sixth house, domestic pets, animals, right? The furry friends, for sure. So those are two main things that have moved and that are moving. So the Mercury in the fourth, family, feeling, emotions, mom, and then Mars being touched by the sun. So that burst of energy for you, the sun is going to move 1 degree a day. So that's 4 days, I would say, 4/5 days, because it'll be a couple days in there. So in about 4 days, the sun will be at 28 degrees, which means it'll be triggering. It might even happen in 3 days, because you got Regulus there too. So like in 3 days, a nice burst of energy. So at the same time, then Mars would be getting closer to that sixth house. So it just amps up your ability to get things done. It makes you like a mover and a shaker, right? So if you have chores, or if you just have projects in the house, or even at your own job, whatever your job is, whatever you do regularly every day, could even have to do with, health routines. And like I mentioned, finding a way to get that extra energy out, that's a possibility. Venus, yeah, Venus and Jupiter are still in the same location for you, so that's not going to move much. Yeah, that so far looks to be none of the other objects are moving in new territory for you. What will be different? Oh no, that's going to be the same. Yeah. The only thing I would recommend that can be challenging is that the Mercury in your fourth house of emotions and family and home. It's great that it's Leo energy, typically optimistic. But what happens when the sun touches your Mars, and that Mars at the 29 degrees, we not only can be fired up and impatient, but we feel like we are the damn king of the home. I'm the mother and the father, damn it. What I say goes, right? So when the sun gets there, it's not even just going to be your physical that gets amped up, but your emotional as well. It's going to be a combination. So my recommendation would just be like, stay aware of that. Stay aware of that and realize like you're under the influence of the sun giving more power and energy and more just lighting up your emotions and your actions that you take because of your emotions. And because it's next to that Regulus energy, and at that like big boss degree, you just want to, keep that in mind, because that can get tricky if you have to share space with people, even if you have to work with people, or even in conversations with family members and mom, that kind of energy. All right. I hope that helps, because, woo, what a fiery time, right? But remember something here. Leo, again, likes laughter and fun, parties, comedy. So it would be a good time to use that energy to make jokes, to be entertaining, to be entertained, but just channel it. Use it for your creativity. Leo is extremely creative energy. So channel that energy, because you'll have a nice burst, especially emotional energy. give it an outlet, man. Give it a healthy outlet. All right, is Abatha here? I think Abatha is on that list next. There's that list again. I should highlight that dang thing so I can find it. Yeah, Abatha's next. It's Abatha, Teamwork's passing, Christy's passing, and then Stacy. So Abatha and then Stacy. All right, let me Abatha, are you here? Remember, if you're here, roll call. And if I don't see you, I'm going on to the next name. Abatha, I see you now. All right, Abatha is here. All right. I see we got a trend going on. I see we got a trend going on. I see what we do. Okay, so let's go find. Oh, look at that. I got you right there. I only have like, how many times do I have your chart drawn up in here? All right, let's see what we got here. Abatha. Okay. So, what has moved for you? All right, you still got the Sun and the Mercury in your 7th house, and they're gonna stay there. Yep. So that's partnerships. That hasn't changed. Mercury and the Sun are still going to be in your 7th. And Venus, Venus is going to be in the same. Let me double check her out for real quick here. Let me double check this. Yeah. Okay. So Venus is going to be the same. Not a whole lot, right? Let's see. Oh, I see the difference. Your Mars. So Mars will actually leave your 8th house. It doesn't officially happen until the following week, like literally like Monday, or I should say Sunday this week, Monday next week. The difference is that Mars sitting in your 8th house, the 8th house of the past, relationships of the past, the hurts and the wounds and wanting healing, right? 8th house is the house of healing those traumas. And this is personal relationships, private relationships, emotionally bonded, physically bonded relationships, but it can also be partnerships, like as in professional partnerships. So Mars in your 8th of those deeply connected emotions and partnerships from the past. Okay. And going into the 9th, it's going to change. It's going to change. The 9th is about the future. It's about your beliefs about the future. And typically, the 9th house, we can be thinking about religion or spirituality or travel plans or the justice and judicial system, which is interesting because if you're with in court or with the lawyer or anything like that, Mars going into your 9th, action starts to be taken because it's going to be still in Libra energy, and Libra is also the scales of justice. So it can be lawyer energy, especially going into the 9th house. So action's going to be taken. Yeah. And so that would be like in a week from now. But other than that, even though that's, to me, it's a significant thing. And you'll probably feel it a couple days before, like this weekend coming up, because Mars will be sitting at 10, and so is your 9th house cusp line at that same 10 degree. And that talks about my goals for the future, but specifically partnerships and long-term material, tangible assets and goals. So this can be kind of an interesting time for you because shortly after that, you're also going to have Mars trining Mars. And your Mars, let me get rid of this chart for you real quick so you can see your natal chart. The Mars up in the sky, when it gets close to your 9th house there, 10 degrees of Libra, right? Look, it's going to be trining your Mars, and which is conjunct your Uranus. So can be authority figures, Can be shocks and surprises. This is some energy where I would highly recommend to definitely slow down, because your natal Mars is connected to Uranus. When Mars comes through and starts talking to it, it's two Marses in Uranus, and it's like lightning bolt energy. So you got to really be like, okay, take a step back, count to 10. Don't let Uranus, do its lightning bolt thing, because sometimes, yeah, moving too fast is where we can get into trouble with Uranus and Mars energy. So we just want to take a breath, just pace, pace yourself. And because it's angling a strong trine to your first house, it will be your physical body. And it might even get to the degree where you're feeling a little anxious, and because it's like a nerve energy, even possibly because it's Uranus and Mars connected for you. So there might be a sensitivity that happens, and they get triggered because Mars is a trigger planet. But overall, if you're hearing about it ahead of time and just kind of talking yourself through it, and just remember, don't go doing anything that's, you're going to want to do things that are new and different and exciting. That's just the reality. Okay. But again, that's not until the weekend. So until that time, it looks like it's kind of, might seem kind of boring. I don't know, especially if you're a person who wants, if you like different and new and exciting and freedom and independence for sure. So with that said, on the freedom and independence piece, with Mars trining the Mars and the Uranus, if you're looking for freedom and independence, if it's been something you've been waiting on and wanting to just break free, this will be that time for sure, because the Mars and the Uranus are going to give you that. And I just realized I wasn't even showing your dang chart. Dang. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so there's that Mars and that Uranus, right, together in your chart. And then the Mars is going to be over here hitting 10 degrees in Libra up there. Okay. So yeah, that's getting to the weekend. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday is when you'll be like, it's on. So that is what's for you this week. And yeah, let us know. Absolutely. That's what's coming towards you this week. For sure. All right. So let me move along here and see. I think it's Stacy, because I think that's Teamwork said I'm passing. Christy's passing. So Stacy, you're up. And then it's drawing momentum. And then Donna Marie's passing too. And then Luis is passing. And then, okay, so, all right. Stacy drawing momentum, and then Renee. Okay. All right. That means Stacy, are you here? Stacy, are you here? G, you 6:44 p.m. time, and I need the link. All right. Let me get the link. All right. Here's the link. Stacy, I think I only have one chart for you. I think I got rid of, after we changed time so many times, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. Let's find a time and let's stick to it. And so whatever one I have is the one I have. And I hope it's that one, because that's the one we've been using. So let's go StreamYard made a change. I like that. Okay, that's a good change. They're actually alerting me that someone entered the green room. Before, I would never know. All of a sudden, I'd just be looking down, and all of a sudden, I would see somebody there. And I'm like, holy shit, how long have they been sitting there? But now they have an alert on the screen for me and everything. Nice. I'm happy about that. Okay, let me get Stacy in here so that I can go ahead and and we can get this moving along. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Okay, we can hear you. Very good.
I need to get my anger out.
You needed to get your what?
My anger out. Chloe, calm down.
Oh,
I'm okay.
oh,
My
you're in an anger mood.
oh yeah. I don't know if
Oh,
it's
great. And you
Mars or
thought,
what.
oh, I got to go on G's live so I can unleash this shit. Really? Is that what?
No. I want to use the 6:44 p.m. time because I think that that's an accurate time based on things that have happened.
Well,
Well,
you're the only person I know who fluctuates between two charts. You really
I
have to stick to
know.
one time for life to actually make sense. You have to commit.
I
Um,
know. I
and
know. But there was
the
zero
one that I have
degree.
is I don't know where it's at, but
Okay.
whatever. No, I mean, let me. I know I only have one because
I think
you
it's the
said that was the one.
606. I think it's the 606.
She said,
If
I
it
think.
is,
She doesn't even know because I know I definitely don't know. I hold on, let me get you there. I got it right here.
just use whatever you have.
Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, because if you keep manipulating them and twisting them to fit your life, that's not astrology. I mean, it's different. Like yeah, you just gotta figure
Well,
out which chart because I can look at 3 charts and I can tell you I can as an astrologer, I can figure out a way where I can read those charts to come up with the same results. So you really
okay.
just have to be like, "Okay, I gotta yeah, you're right, this is a 606."
Okay,
So
use
is
that
this
one.
so you don't think the 606 chart applies to something that
Well,
happened, you're saying?
the only reason I think that is because when I was checking something out, there was some zero degree aspects while it was happening, and now I'm so ticked off I can't even remember what it
Wow.
was. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
my brain is like gone.
Well, um, well, how about we do this? Do you have
Well, actually, last week you were talking. We talked a lot about it's intimacy stuff, a lot of
uh-huh,
intimacy going on, and there was a lot of emotional intimacy going on with this guy that I had
okay.
met online and whatnot. And then some things happened, and basically he had sent me a reel of something, and I was trying to back things up a bit. I felt like we were skipping
Right.
steps, a bunch of steps
You're
on
in
stuff.
5th
It's
gear
like,
all of a sudden?
yeah, yeah, it's like, okay, wait. We missed LMNOP. Anyways, and he said, real, this is he'll be 64 on the 22nd. Yeah, and I told him, and I looked at it, and then he said, which was sexual in nature. Probably shouldn't have said that online. But then he said another one and said this is only slightly rude. And I told him, I think it's inappropriate. I told
Mhm.
him I'm not even going to look at it. I at this point I think it's inappropriate. And then the next thing I know, I'm being blocked on, on Facebook.
Well, then you should just look at this in the light of what you said was perfect because
Right.
that just saved you a whole lot of shit.
Oh, I know. Well, the idiot forgot that he also called me from his
She
phone.
said the idiot.
And so I sent him a text, which you had to pay to read because he's too cheap to get an international plan. He's just in Canada. I'm like, you don't have an international plan? I
Mm.
I use a prepaid that I just have taken out of my account monthly, and I can call Canada and Mexico. And but anyways, he had to pay to read the text, and I just said, I said, I'm not stalking you or anything. I just wanted to let you know that I think it was rude to unfriend and block me without even letting me know why. I won't be contacting you again. Goodbye. My Mars and Gemini had to get the last word in.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just want to know what my love life looks like for the
Um,
next few
it's
weeks, or I don't know.
well, you know, Uranus will stay in your seventh house for a long time,
I know.
and your seventh house speaks to that, to the love life, and it's not going anywhere. It's at 1 degrees, but it will eventually go retrograde, and so things might intensify when it goes and begins a retrograde. Because that Uranus there, you have Sirius and Juno at 0 in Gemini. You follow?
Right.
So to me, having that occur in the placement of partnerships, because that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for, you know, online love necessarily, where it's I have no idea what it is, but when I say that, I guess what I'm saying is,
Oh, I was going to go
um,
visit him. He's lucky my passport isn't here. And then I was like, why would I even waste some money to go see him?
you definitely wouldn't do that. But Venus will be leaving. Venus will be leaving um, the Cancer energy, and that will make a huge difference once Venus is done in Cancer, because it's in your eighth house. So this this lights up the past and the history, right? And so the deep bonding that occurred, well, sure, the deep bonding was there, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's meant for this time. There's just that strong familiarity, right?
Right. And his
Yeah.
Venus is in Cancer.
Well, it's in your eighth house, okay?
Yeah.
It's in your eighth house. And then for this week, as Venus rolls through, you're going to have Venus touching your Mercury. That happens this
Uh,
week.
I hope he doesn't contact me.
Well, you're a big girl. You don't have to pick up, whether someone reaches out to you or not. That's up to you. You don't have to take that route with
I'm
him.
I'm also a
Um,
Mars and Gemini with Pluto square Mars. I have to
so,
laugh at myself. I don't think I could resist.
so yeah, like
But what does that mean with explain to me how that could affect me with Venus touching my
Venus and
Mercury.
Mercury touching.
Yeah,
Well, it speaks to communication with someone I love, but it can also be family members because it's in Cancer.
right,
It's in Cancer. And so the Venus is going to touch in with Mercury. This can be online because it's Mercury. This can just be a phone call, but it's somebody where you have deep bonds with. So whether it's him or whether it's a family member, whether it's anybody from the past, especially because we're talking eighth house, we're talking people that, you may not consider, um, it could just be like a stranger, even actually, because we can bump into people, neighbors, coworkers, siblings. It's Mercury. It's just simply communicating with somebody online in a chat, like here, right? It can be that too, or
right,
on social media, anywhere, right? It can just be a quick communication. It's like, these two are like siblings. So that connection, your 24 degrees, it does, though, then connect to your Chiron at 26. There's a wound, and it's again, it goes back to family, but also the past and history. And possibly because it's Pisces, this can be this foreigner, foreign land, foreign languages. It can be a little something like that. So maybe there's a communication from the person. Maybe it's a different person altogether. Maybe it's both. All things are possible, right? It's Venus touching Mercury, which will trigger this Chiron. But this Chiron, um, you said what you described were your emotions and feeling angry. Um, I think a bigger part of this is resolving stuff from the past. I think
oh,
there's
it is.
I think it's more deeply psychological than anything. And that's the point of us bumping into people or having these little encounters, is especially that. And I don't mean to minimize it by calling it a little encounter. You said it was a deeply bonding thing, but it brings up stuff that was unresolved,
No,
stuff
and
that
it
we
did.
don't
And
know is
you're so good, G. You hit it the head right on the nail. One of the issues that happened was he has an ex-girlfriend from 40 years ago. I don't even know
oh
why I'm
shit.
worrying about this on his Facebook. And
40
with
years ago.
with my past history of two men that I was deeply involved with and having something happening, that set off me.
Oh.
And
Oh.
he was going, he's defending himself. Yet at the same time, we're not in a relationship.
Right, right.
You know?
Yeah,
If
online really isn't a relationship.
yeah,
I mean, it's just we're
we haven't
communicating.
even met. We video
Right,
chatted, but we haven't
right.
even met in person. So you hit the nail on the head when you said it was a wound from my past.
Well, and it's possibly, like you just said, a relationship from 40 years ago for him because it's all water.
I
Your
know,
Mercury's at 24, your Chiron's at 26 in water, but what about Stacy's South Node in Scorpio at 24?
right?
Right. You see? So this Venus touches your Mercury and it triggers this grand water trine. And it's my body, my appearance, but it talks about the past and my superpower, my Scorpio energy, right? Scorpio born for war, Scorpio, I almost have to have a mission and a war or a battle of some sort going on because that's one of your superpowers, but it's the super
Oh yeah,
detective, great researchers, and it
and
connects
she's
to your fourth
happily
house.
married. Like I didn't research her. She's happily married.
Mhm. Well, it connects with your fourth house of where the wound is at in the past.
Right.
Home and family is there. And when we think of the past and the connections we have with people in the present, the dynamics are usually different. It's not always this. I don't think it's the same, to be honest with you. I don't like when we repeat things. I don't think it's, well, yeah, in the past we were boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife. I think the challenge comes in when we meet again and we're each playing a different role, but yet there's a soul familiarity connected to that past role from the other time. And that's where shit gets really complicated.
Right. And we got very emotionally intimate very quickly. It was very strange.
Well, Scorpio is intense. Eighth house is intense. It's not strange. That's a Scorpio. That's the way it works.
It's strange to me. I don't usually do that.
Oh, well, that's Scorpio energy. It energetically penetrates. That is what Scorpio energy is. I mean, it can physically penetrate, but it can also energetically penetrate. You
Yeah,
understand?
he's got Pluto conjunct his his Leo 29-degree Leo sun.
Oh, well, there you go. That answers a lot. Did you hear that, Christy? A 29-degree Leo sun.
Go get him, Christy.
Well, my point is like that's Regulus there, and so many. I don't know what house it's in, and
I
so
don't
many
either.
times, depending upon the angles, the aspects to it, somebody may be like, "But I'm the king, damn it!" That's what Regulus at 29 degrees in Leo is. So I call the shots. You understand? I'm the
I
boss.
was letting him call the shots. Well,
Did you
I
hear
mean,
Stacy say I was letting him call the shots? That's a smart
I just
woman.
want to
Um,
know why I was. I know how to work them. Just let them think they're in charge.
um, well, I'm not going to respond to that because I don't have any kind words, to be honest with you. Yeah. When it
Yeah,
comes
no,
to
I
there's just a whole lot of imbalanced energy when it comes to testosterone. Yeah, my tolerance is so low. But
I'm
in
gonna get an
terms
AI
of
boyfriend to yell at.
yeah, right. But in terms of deep bonds, I would expect them to keep occurring because of Jupiter. Jupiter is still going
Okay.
to be in your eighth house. It's going to go forward. It's going to touch your Jupiter's going to touch your Mercury. And what did I
Yeah.
just say? When Venus touches the Mercury, what happened? Right? It triggers this South Node at 24. It triggers the Chiron. So Jupiter's going to do the same thing. Jupiter's going to do the same thing Venus did. And so my point is because it's Jupiter and Venus in the eighth of processing the wounds of the past, you might want to take a deep dive into those wounds and start working on them, figuring out
Yeah,
whatever those issues are.
I've already thought about that, and
Yeah, I would because Jupiter is going to remind you, hey, this is still here, damn it. This hasn't been resolved. This hasn't been
and
fixed. This is
here's the
still
thing too. He's a nurse who's mainly worked in the psychiatric field. So, so I think in some aspects
there can
he
be a whole
knows.
lot of history here in a lot of different ways because what you just described describes Pisces and the Scorpio energy, your South Node conjunct your Neptune. Like there's a whole lot of stuff here that connects the eighth house. I mean, it all really connects. And so just thinking about it in terms of the past and what's been unresolved. Um, yeah, many times the wounds, because your eighth house is your trauma. It's the trauma, the past traumas. And we can meet people and be familiar and not realize we're having a good time or feel like we're having a good time with someone who might have been like my arch enemy in the past. There can still be familiarities with people that I mean, the seventh house, it's the house of partnerships, but it's also the house of open enemies. So this can be very complex. Are you following me? Oh, must have lost her. The internet must have went out for her. It says that she's there, but yet I'm not hearing her. Oh, there you are. She's speaking. I just realized I didn't even have her chart on the screen. Yeah, we can't hear you, Stacy. It's your internet. I'm assuming. I don't know if everybody can hear me or not. Can y'all hear me? I probably should have asked that right at the get-go, huh? Yeah, Stacy, it must be your internet. Oh, wait. I hear something.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I do hear you now.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, you already said something about the internet right at the beginning.
Hi, so
You
I didn't
couldn't
hear
hear me and I
anything. Oh,
couldn't hear
now.
you.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah, I
was
couldn't hear you at
weird.
all. I thought you were gone. I was like, okay, her internet's on the fritz. We got to go.
No, yeah, that's weird. So, what were you saying? Well, you were saying the last I heard about Jupiter and it's going to keep happening. And
Yeah, and that it can be complex. The histories can be really complex. Everyone assumes the past history is, oh, well, we're a love interest now. Well, our past history must be a love interest. Not always.
no,
Not always.
I
So
didn't think
it
that.
can
That's
be
why I felt that we needed to take a step backwards.
right. I agree. I totally agree. And the resolving of wounds doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean, oh, if we're resolving our wounds, that means we're willing to go forward together intimately. No, it doesn't mean that.
No,
Sometimes
it
it's
means
just a recognition.
Stacy needs to get over her shit.
Well, that's what Jupiter's
Basically.
going to remind you of. And so, yeah. I think if you just stay focused on that, you'll have more opportunities because again, Uranus stays in your seventh house. So this isn't just a now thing. Uranus will be in Gemini for 8 years. This
Oh
isn't just
God.
today. This isn't just September, October, November. No, this is your seventh house being introducing new and different and exciting to you, but you can't really embark on the new, different, and exciting fully until you work on those past wounds.
I'm getting a
And you have to
shrink.
be willing to look at them. And it's about vulnerabilities. Eighth house is our vulnerabilities. So, it's also the deep psychology, eighth house. So some people might need a professional to talk to. And if that's the case, then do it. Get
Oh yeah,
get
that's
the
what
ball
I'm
rolling, get the
thinking.
shit processed.
Yeah, I'm thinking already. That's the thing is, I was so vulnerable with him, and he was with me as well. I mean, I think it was odd for both of us.
Well,
And then Stacy goes psycho on.
well, no, I mean, you were stating boundaries, it sounded like, and what you're, and yeah.
Yeah, and who the hell is this?
Well, either
which I
way,
didn't, which I didn't have a right to do that, and I realized that. I mean, I did realize that because at one point I was like, this is weird. Okay.
well,
Yeah.
if
But when I did state the boundaries, then he freaked out.
what you
I think,
described was that it sounded like it was inappropriate. You didn't care for it, and you let him know. And when you did, that's what ended it. And so, yeah, okay, good, it's over.
yeah,
You got that out of your
his,
system.
he's very well known in his community and has worked very hard to build his reputation. And I think that's what freaked him out the most.
Yeah,
And
I don't know.
if I was mean, but I'm not going to be mean. I'm going to have class and tact. I could do some damage.
Well, just remember, whatever you put out comes back.
I know. And that's why
So,
I won't. I would never
you
do
just
that. I would think a lot of things, but I would never. I would
well,
never
I mean,
do.
at this point, it doesn't sound like things got to that degree where, I mean, this was
Yeah.
an online communication that was going on. Y'all didn't share
Yeah.
space. Y'all don't have children together. I mean, I think anything extra beyond tonight's conversation would, yeah, it should be just a done deal now.
Yeah. I do know that he obsesses over things, and so he's probably having insomnia over it all.
Well,
I wish I have to laugh. Sorry.
I,
Uh,
I think with when Mars makes a move, which, your 11th house of friends starts at 14. Right now, Mars is in the 10th house, right? And for females, Mars in the 10th house can be that interest that I'm like, oh, maybe a long-term thing because it's Mars in Libra. But once Mars goes into the 11th, that's the house of friendship. So
right.
so that will kind of help, hopefully, to tone things down, or at least, we'll see, because it is still surprises because it's Libra in the 11th now, right? But it still means you're doing some online stuff, and so if you're still actively looking and that's what you want, then do that. But don't be stalled by this thing that happened and occurred because of that Uranus in your seventh. You're going to keep looking. So keep looking. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're fishing. Keep doing it.
Yeah, my cousin wants me to move to Romania where he's. Oh my gosh. I lost you.
No, I'm still here. I just,
Oh,
yeah. I don't,
okay.
honestly, with the location of Jupiter staying in your eighth and Uranus in the seventh, that is what you wanted. You wanted to, what about my love life? Well,
Well, yeah. Sorry.
no,
My
it's just
brain
saying that
a
this is
went
what
to a
has to
whole
be
other
done and
place.
processed before things can move on.
Right.
You
I
follow? Not to
agree.
say that you
I
can't,
agree.
not, Yeah, it's not about that you can't still look and have fun and talk to people. You can. But I would reserve the serious stuff until you have this stuff figured out.
I agree.
Make sense?
Yeah, and thank you for
Or at
hitting
least
the
somebody who's
nail.
willing to be patient at the very least. Someone who's not looking to rush, where we're all of a sudden in fifth gear, where you've skipped LMNOP. You right? So just right. And until you find that, just yeah, you have to go at a pace that works for you.
Exactly. And
Otherwise, it'll
that
just snowball,
it will.
and
And
it
I
just
put
becomes too
that on my
complicated.
profile, on my own online profile.
Mhm.
And a lot of it is his crap too, though, because he's dealing with the
Well,
former
everybody's got
ex-wife.
crap. Everybody's got
Yeah.
crap, but we are
I
responsible
need to
for
work
our own stuff. So
right.
that's
And
all we
so
can talk about is,
I
is
need
just
to unpack my baggage and deal with it.
yeah, that will make life easier for you because
Yeah.
Jupiter's going to bring it around for you anyway if you don't.
Yeah. And I got 7 years of freaking Uranus
Well, that's what
up
you
my.
want. You want new and exciting. But it just explains, yeah, that new and different and disruptive, but unique and something you probably haven't thought of. That's the other thing
Exactly.
to
I
consider
wasn't. Yeah.
different.
Yeah. I was like, on a whim, I just went on this website and thought,
Yeah.
hey,
Well, you did it.
there's one.
You did
There's
it.
one that I've never tried. And then
Yeah.
this guy in another country, or well, not that far away, but in Canada, I wasn't even looking at Canada, or that wasn't even on my radar.
Well, that's all right though. I mean, you went ahead and did it, and Uranus, that's what Uranus is. It's I'm online hunting for the seventh house. I'm exploring, and that's
It's exhausting.
well, then
You
don't
have
do it.
no idea.
Do it in different
It's like,
ways. Be more selective. Give yourself a certain amount of time that you allow yourself to be involved in it. And especially where if it's consuming the communication starts to consume your life, like you were saying last week, have a life. Don't allow yourself to be consumed by the communication.
oh, that's why we started video chatting. I had to tell him, listen, my dog is feeling very neglected right
Yeah.
now from all this texting.
Yeah. Well,
We have to video chat.
you're just going to have to. This just is a nice little experiment in my mind for you to just set up parameters and healthy boundaries for you, for your dog, for your sanity, for your own well being. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Just do
It
that.
does. I
And this
will.
this this relation or this communication was a lesson about that.
I think they call it a situation ship these
Situation.
days.
Yeah.
Situation ship. I think that's what the
Mm.
kids call it. It's a situation ship. It's not a relationship.
Situationship.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. It's something new.
Well,
All these new things.
well, yeah.
I'm like, interpret for me, please. So I have to ask younger people.
Association. It's an association is really it's just what it all it is. It's just someone
Yeah,
that you
it
talk
is.
to and it's a it's yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of the conversating is to explore and to know what I like and know what I don't like and know what I would like be hell no.
I'm
you know?
I'm proud of myself for being vulnerable. I mean, that was very unusual for me to do
Okay.
something like that. I mean,
Well, it makes sense when you look at the astrology of it though, right?
yeah,
Venus and Jupiter together going through the 8th. It makes
yeah,
sense. It was, Jupiter gives a person courage. And so as it's going through your 8th house is a good time. I realize it also expands upon the wounds, but Jupiter
right,
can enable us to be smart with our emotions, to be wise with our emotions, and to be able to connect the past, the present, and the future with our emotions, which is what we're talking about right now.
exactly. And I'm
So
getting a
it's your
shrink.
opportunity. Yep,
And
it's
I'm
your
getting a
opportunity to
shrink.
act on it.
Yeah.
All right?
All right. Thank you very, very much, amiga. I appreciate it.
Yep, you're welcome,
Hey,
and thank you for the channel gift. Thank you very much.
hey, you're very welcome. You deserve it.
Appreciate it.
Uh, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Stacy, this is for you. I just put this up here. Christy says, date them all. If you play your cards right, you won't have to buy dinner for a month and not have to wash their underwear. There you go. Well, yeah. Too funny. Yep, there you go, Stacy. I don't know if you saw it, but there it is. That's for you. Okay, it's all the same old, just different. Yep. Yep, roll call. Thank you, Lou. That's right. If it's your turn, if you're on the list, you got to let me know if you're here. You got to pop into the chat and say, here, please. That way I can get your chart up here. Otherwise, I'll just go to the next name. I don't know how many next names we have. It's kind of another slow night, which is fine. I actually really enjoyed being done early last week because I can try to get to bed at a decent time. All righty. So after Stacy is drawing momentum. Is drawing momentum here? And then Renee. I believe that's what this says. Drawing momentum. Okay, drawing momentum. Are you here? She's usually cooking dinner. And every time I pass her up, she comes back in and she's like, "Oh, I'm here." Like, you're here now. Yeah. All right. So let me see what else we got going on here. Okay, let's get back. And I don't think drawing momentum's here, so we're going to go to Renee. Renee, I think Renee is here. Drawing momentum. Oh, thanks, Lou. I appreciate that. Lou has an updated list. Lou didn't mess around. Oh, we got some new names in here tonight. So remember, if you want me to spend time on your chart like I just did with Stacy's chart, you send the channel a gift. The email or the email, the Gmail, the Venmo, the Cash App are down below. Otherwise, we're going to go quick. That's the way it goes. Drawing momentum, going once, going twice. Yeah, I didn't see Jess's name on the list. Oh, wait, there, Jess's name is there. Oh, yeah. Drawing momentum. Oh, Renee's not on the list. Oh, I'm sorry. Donna Marie's passing. Lou S is passing. Oh, Jess is before Renee. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I was meant. Okay, thank you for rewriting that, Lou. Jess was here, but Jess might not be here now. Jess, are you here? Hello. It's roll call time. Jess, are you here? So when I call your name, if you're not here, you go back to the end of the line. That's just the way we got to do it. Yep. People don't like to wait, and that's fine. But for a free look at someone's chart, if you're not willing to wait, that's on you. It's your chart. All right, so we're going to move to Renee. We got to move to Renee. We're going to Renee. Renee Gomez. It's been a minute, man. Every time I hear about California and all the damn way back, I know you were in Southern California with that flooding that happened. Right at the was that at the beginning of this year or was that last year? No, that was in spring. I was just like, God, I hope Renee's okay. Oh, shit. Look at that. Look at that. Venus and Jupiter conjunct. There's your answer. Don't even got to look at your chart. Yep. Dipped my toe in the dating pool, had an amazing connection, and ghosted with no explanation. Yeah. Venus and Jupiter conjunct, and you probably had a little bit of a Uranus thing in there somewhere. Let's go check it out. Maybe in the 11th house too. Oh wow, let me get rid of this chart. Let me get this up here. Let me find you. Okie dokie. R.E. Renee. There you are. We got you in here. Okie dokie. Let me get this on the screen. I know I've been really bad about getting the charts on the screen. Like, geez, this isn't rocket science. All right, let's get this chart up here. Okay, let's get that out of there. And let's see what's up. First, let me get rid of this real quick because there's just so much and we can kind of see. Oh, shit. Look at that. Look at that. She's got Cancer in the 11th, where Venus and Jupiter met. It was in her 11th house, and it was conjunct Nessus. Holy shit. There you go. So Nessus typically talks about revenge, but the 11th house can be disruptions and surprises and, yeah. Uranus, whenever we're getting a Uranian connection, it's like a lightning bolt. It's not supposed to last. It's quick. It absolutely is the fun one night stand type of stuff. Or even if it's not just one night, it's a short burst of something, right? So Venus, yep. So I don't know the timing though on this. I don't know if this just happened last week for you, but last week was the Venus and Jupiter conjunction. And so if that was the timing for you, it would have happened there in your 11th house, but oh shit. Okay. Interesting. In Libra at 13 degrees, you have a Jupiter Uranus midpoint. So that means it would have exactly squared the conjunction of the Venus and Jupiter together. And Venus, just so that we're clear, Venus, feminine energy, women, right? Love. And Jupiter, man, masculine energy. And when we have that connection of them together, right, it can bring about, like Stacey was talking about, we had this quick connection. There was obviously history because there was such a deep intensity to their connection. But many times that connection, it can be very complicated. And so for yours, based on what you're telling me, if it was conjunct this Nessus in your 11th house, while at the same time getting a square from Jupiter and Uranus, I would have been like, yeah, I would expect a surprise. A surprise. I'm wondering, was Saturn creating an abrupt ending? I'm looking at your Aries energy. You've got something at 0 degrees in Aries. And guess what? Look where it is, guys, in her 8th house of wounds, deeply bonded energy and wounds. This is Hermes here at 0 degrees in Aries. Quick. Aries is fast. It rushes in and it gets bored pretty damn quickly, to be honest. That's just Aries energy. It gets bored. When it's not shiny and new anymore, it's like, I'm done. Like, that's Aries. That's also Uranus energy too, right? It likes different and new and exciting. Well, if it's not new anymore, then it's not exciting anymore. And yeah. Saturn's sitting there. So I think that's kind of fascinating. I think that's super fascinating. Oh, wow. And you even have Oh, look at this. So Jupiter, Uranus, midpoint 13 in Libra, but then you have Pan, who can be deceptive at 13 degrees in Gemini. So it's a communication. It is the midheaven. Oh, man. Oh, man. Online stuff. You have a very strong trine in air at 13 degrees. And what does that mean? That means starting something. You have a strong trine for communication, big time with communication. But it can be through a friendship and possibly at work. But boy, because deception was part of this, you have Salacia right here, the seashell. She's a feminine version of Neptune. So there can be the rose-colored glasses, even if it wasn't like a purposeful deception. We have a rose-colored glasses on. That means there could have been red flags, but we just didn't see the red flags, right? 13 conjunct 11th house. I'm sorry. So was this an online thing? Did it originate that way by any chance, or a friend of a friend, or just a friend in general? Maybe even coworker or neighbor, a peer, classmate, possibly if you're going to school. But a big, strong trine, air trine that you always have in your chart. It didn't need to be triggered by anything. You always have this. So that would give me pause. That would tell me that every time something starts, that I have to take it slow. I have to I just have to create all these little steps, like a ritual, little steps that I have to go through, because this is confusing with Salacia and Pan. They're both can be confusion and deceptions. And it's not really what it appears to be. They can be, okay? But the communication would have been there. The conversation would have been there. A dating app. That's spot on then, because that's Gemini energy. That is spot on then. She said, I'm Leo rising, not a fan of the fast change. Well, you have your moon conjunct your ascendant. And yeah, this Jupiter Uranus thing is always there for you. So just knowing that ahead of time will give you the ability to purposely create, I don't want to say to purposely create delays, but just create things that maybe force some depth. I know people don't want to do that at the beginning. I get that. It's like, what? Really? Just then create these other things, where we're being more realistic, at least, because they can give us more of an opportunity to see more of this person's personality, whoever this person is. Okay. Sometimes we create, I don't know, like, take a class together, like something fun, right? Whether it's ceramics, and it's not like a course, it's like a one-day fun thing. Sometimes they do them with painting and drinking. Like by us, there's a shop that has art where you go in and you paint, but it's a very social thing. But so they also serve wine at the same time, but something kind of sort of like that, right? Where you can at least, and then, spill a drink, or, so you can kind of see the person's personality, right? Have an accident, just create some little stepping stones to kind of get a reality check because of the rose-colored glasses and the deception and the speed. The 13 degrees is fast. The 13 degrees is fast. It's Aries. This is your chart we're talking about. You follow? So with all the fire you have, a sun in Aries, a moon in Leo, this is all very fast energy. So whether you like fast energy or fast change, like there's a lot of speed here. You follow? There's a lot. And because of the grand air trine, fire and air mixed, says we're moving like a rocket ship. That's, that's kind of going to be built in. Yes, lightning. It's in your chart. It's in your chart. So you're going to have to find ways to throw a little earth on the fire. You follow? you, unless the lightning speed dating and mating and relating, unless that's what you want, where you're starting over again, because Aries likes fresh and new, right? But if you're beyond that, if you're like, damn, sure, when I was younger, that was me. I had no problem with that. It was fun. Now you're like, oh hell no, what the fuck? Who's got my Mars is more mature now? That's for kids. That's kids shit. If you're beyond that, you got to throw some dirt on that fire. That's just the reality of it. I'm over all the redo. I'm tired. I hear you. I hear you, amiga. You just got to find ways to slow the stuff down, to tame it and slow it down. Remember, you have Uranus and Scorpio. Okay. Yep. And it's in your emotions. It's with home and family. But the past, but it's Scorpio, so it's deeply bonded energy. Yeah. So it can be tricky. Let me see here. Lou S is doing the updates tonight. Woohoo, I appreciate it. Is Alyssa. Looks like Alyssa and Angelo. Alyssa, are you here? You're next. I know I have Alyssa's digits. Spring. I don't want to mess up that last name, but I don't have your digits. You want to get them to me? Someone did send me some digits for oh, I see. You did. Okay, good job. You told me who your name was. Good job. So at Sinister Days, I've got your digits. Yeah. I'll take it up with Chat GPT. Well, yeah, you can do that, but don't ignore your own chart, because this is the energy that's in your chart. It's your predispositions. And you're under an influence too, so you kind of got to be like, oh shit. All right. Seems that the love American style is tonight, apparently, huh? We're still on love. We're still on love. All right. So is Alyssa here? Going once, going twice. I don't think Alyssa's here. So we're moving on to. Okay. So spring, I don't have your digits. If you send them to the email down below, or some people who are brave, they put their digits in the chat. And that's okay. You can do that. It's, we don't ask for your social security number or anything like that, but some people are very protective and they don't want to do that. So you can email me your stuff privately. Sinister Days, I've got your stuff. I'll have to draw up your chart because you're new. And again, anybody who wants me to spend extra time on their chart, otherwise I'm going quickly. You send the channel a gift and I give you more time. And I don't have my garbage can. All right. I guess we'll just throw that there. So let's move it along to Sinister Days. Sinister Days, are you here? Sinister Days might have left. I just realized I haven't. Is Sinister Days here? It's roll call time for Sinister Days. This chat's going really fast. We are up. Sinister Days is here. Sinister Days like, hell yeah, I'm here. All right. So let's get your chart up here. Sinister Days, while I'm making your chart, have you seen your chart before? Because every blue moon, I get some weird glitchy thing when I create a chart. And I just want to make sure. When I do a chart for the very first time, I like to cross-check it with another system to make sure we have an accurate chart, because I'm not going to spend time reading a chart that's not somebody's chart. It just makes no sense. Okay. Okay. And your birth time. Excellent. You got your birth time. Love it. 1. Excellent. All right. Riverside. Oh, look at that. Okay. Let's see what we got. All right. So far, woo. Ooh, is this you? This chart tells me you've seen your chart. So you're an Aries ascendant at 29 degrees. This is for tropical plastic system. That's the chart system I use. Aries 29 degrees on the ascendant, a 3-degree Taurus moon. Ooh, interesting. All right, midheaven at 18 in Cappy. Ooh. 26-degree Sagittarius sun. Ooh, this chart's got me kind of intrigued. Okay, so, Sinister Days says, yeah, that's me. Look at that. Awesome. Okay, so let me take a peek at this chart. Let me take a peek at this chart here. Let me switch something out. I kind of going to go over there with that one. Wow, man. Wow. I mean, holy crap. So not only is this an Aries ascendant at 29, but Sinister Days has their Mars in Capricorn. It's exalted. Wow. So that kind of speaks to having, yeah, let me switch this other chart up here. A lot of physical power with Mars, especially in terms of your work and your career, for sure, working towards long-term goals. Ooh, big deal. And your Mars is at 19. So that's working towards partnerships, personal and professional. Wow. I mean, you got that energy right here on your midheaven. And Capricorn at the midheaven, well, it's at home there. But these are really, hardworking individuals, usually boss energy too. And so for yours, though, that 18 degrees, yeah, that's the Virgo. That's the Virgo. So we think of, we can think of healthcare, nursing, but Virgo's, Virgo, all about those details and perfection, perfection, perfection. Yikes. Yeah, maybe even pets and animals because it's Virgo, but service industry, service for sure. So I see your nodes are conjunct. You got the South node conjunct the 11th house astrology. Interesting. Oh, you also have Salacia there. So that seashell that I have drawn in right there, well, I didn't draw it in, but that seashell, let me point that out. Right there, that seashell. It's at 11 degrees. It's conjunct your South node. Your South node, this is like that superpower energy. That's what I call it because it's like our innate gifts that we're just born with them. Well, you have your South node in Aquarius at the Aquarius degree. Astrology for sure. Holy crap. But boss, very independent energy. Holy shit. Unique. Yeah. I'm the boss of me. So you've got like this combo of the past and the soul memory of being extremely independent. But this is also the social circle and social groups. And so professionally, like career-wise, you're talking technology, right? It's Aquarius energy. It's not just astrology, but science and tech. Yeah. Different, very unique. Space even, right? And I think of like the supply chain even too. Airplanes, trains. Yeah, mass transportation is that Aquarius energy. It's also the humanitarian, by the way. Like we volunteer with our 11th house stuff. We volunteer. Interesting chart. And your South Node is there. Was my whole freaking point of that. So that's part of like a superpower that you have. And it's conjunct the 11th house, which likes new and starting, whether it's groups and friends, because this is a lot, group energy, but social stuff. But can also be maybe even very, I don't want to say politically involved, but concerns about people in general. So, what about the Capricorn moon? Damn. I said Capricorn, your Taurus moon. So, normally a Taurus moon is really kind of like the Scorpio energy, where it can be extremely psychic. It can be. You've got this in your first house. So, emotional feelings and emotions, the mind degree about yourself and your appearance, even. Okay. This is also mom energy. Mom energy. So there might be something where you look like a mom, or where you look nurturing and mother like. And Venus rules this. So typically, this can be a communicator, a warm communicator. Absolutely. And you may even initiate communications because you've got this 1 degree. Yeah, you have a nice mixture of Taurus and Gemini energy in multiple ways in your chart. Yeah. So this is, anytime we see a Gemini, it's social media and talking on the phone, texting, snail mail, whatever. But money and values, right? How you make your money. These people are in teaching and sales, communications. These are communication people. But learning and writing, absolutely, this is the mind. So this kind of energy in the second house is always trying to think of another way to make more money. Like I just don't have one income stream. I've got quite a few going on. Like that's busy ass Gemini, right? Scattered energy, but it's in the house of income and money and values. But this is also love and desires. Kind of fascinating there. And look at the 7th house of holy shit. Deeply bonded energy. We got a 29 extreme degree of Venus, 29 degrees of Scorpio conjunct Uranus. Holy shit. Now that's some quick love there, right? Yeah. Wow. There's probably some stories behind that. Interesting. Deeply bonded energy, 7th house. This is partnerships. And it can be professional partnerships. So marriage and also professional partnerships. And I'm going to say it again. It's been coming up a lot lately. For everyone to remember, our 7th house is also the house of our open enemies as well. You have Black Moon Lilith here in your 7th house. She can be a difficult thing. She throws a monkey wrench into things in partnerships. There might have been times when shit happened and you were like, what the hell just happened? Black Moon Lilith happened. Yeah. Wow. Kind of fascinating with that. And Pluto in the 6th house of health and work. Always changing and transforming. That's what Pluto does. Wants to always be changing and transforming something. Big time. Really, your chart is fascinating as hell. Oopsie daisies. What is going on here? The freaking internet's doing its thing. It's It's the goddamn technology. What I do see here, which is kind of interesting, is this strong square that you have. Nessa, oh, it's not as strong as I thought. They don't match in the minutes. But your Pluto's at 23. This is a shock and surprise degree. So the change and the transformation in relationships. Relationship with yourself and your own health is going to be a thing here. But also, like coworker energy, people you work with, because there's partnerships involved here. But yeah, all partnerships that are very important are going to be part of this, and a change. So it can be an older person, it can be friends, and there can be disruptions, sudden disruptions that bring about deep, permanent changes, because that's Pluto. But it's all about growth. It's the soul's mission. It is all about growth, and it's a square. It's a square, and it squares off with your Nessus energy, which is interesting, because this Nessus can be like this revenge energy, and it's in your 4th house of family and home and mom, the past, and there's some history here. So this domestic energy screams, God damn, what was childhood like? Yeah, this is a little bit of a challenge. Even your Sirius, which can be mom and nurturing energy, right there at 25, it's also squaring partnerships. Yeah. Like almost exactly 26 degree Juno energy and partnership. So yeah, that can be difficult. And usually charts have other areas that balance it out and will make it, where it just recalibrates, it makes it where the difficult times, there's something there to create ease for us. Because you've got some mystic rectangles, some trines in here, like you got some strong fire trine in your chart. In the low 14 degrees, your Mercury's at 18, but it's in the 8th house of trauma. Okay. Talking and communicating. Okay, so when we have Saggy in our 8th house, you also have Neptune. Where's your 8th house? Yep, you have Neptune in the 8th as well. This is a big deal. This talks to the past, but like we're going way back. It's not just like childhood. We're talking the soul memory being triggered, but a lot. So this can be spiritual wounds, religious wounds for sure. This can have to do with having wounds and traumas related to your beliefs, like a religion I had followed or a life philosophy of some sort. There's trauma in the 8th house, and Mercury is here. So this says talking, right? Diving deep into those wounds, into the past, and communicating about it, possibly writing, because it's Mercury, rules of Gemini. So it can be, vlogging and stuff and whatever, and having social medias. But in general, this is yeah. This is there's just a lot. That 7th house is so loaded with that Scorpio trauma. That's some strong stuff you got there. Whew. And yeah, for the childhood stuff, one thing I will add real quick, and then you can always come back next week. You have Jupiter is your greater benefic. Okay, so this is like when something's going on with Jupiter up in the sky, for you want to pay extra attention to the Jupiter, because it can bring you some good, some protection, some ease. That's Jupiter. Okay. Then look, even Jupiter at the Scorpio degree, at the traumatic degree, but Jupiter can expand upon things and can bring on more wounds. It can exaggerate them even. Not that you're exaggerating, but it can just make more of them, And it's Jupiter Saturn midpoint. Oh, okay. Authority figures, wounds with the authority figures, possibly because you got 8 degrees there. But they're important people, right? Or they were important people because it talks about the past. Sometimes Saturn can be a father figure, boss energy. And what happens is when we have like authority figure issues, it can run over into our professional life, because that's just, yeah, it's the way the world works. Um, so yeah, Jupiter, your greater benefic. So that means Jupiter's down here in Cancer, which you had a Jupiter square Jupiter already. Jupiter's here. I think Jupiter's sitting at 15 degrees right now. So that means that you have Jupiter squaring this midpoint right here. You have 16 degrees midpoint. It's a Jupiter-Pluto midpoint. So again, this is about change within relationships. Okay. The sixth house tends to be domestic stuff, but it can be at the job. All right. It's what and who is part of your day-to-day routines. These would be people that are important to you, people that you're connecting with every day in some way. So Jupiter is throwing a square to that. And the squares for Jupiter, when it's your greater benefic, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It can still be a beneficial thing. There might be some stress, but typically if we're using the wisdom that Jupiter gives us, because Jupiter's sitting in your third house of communication right now. So with that, it's communication, and Jupiter can give you the wisdom to communicate in a way that can unify instead of divide. So there's that for you. All right. But yeah, you're for everybody's chart that I look at that seemed like it might have been fast. Well, you can always come back another time, or you can join us on a private lives. You can get in on one of those. And I'm here every Saturday. Yeah. All right. You are welcome. You are welcome. So I'm hoping it made sense and that it sounded like your chart, but I think you said that it was definitely yours because you knew your ascendant, which is so great. And the moon, and I got a yep on the screen. Let me go get rid of that yep. Yeah, been a year working towards changing careers. Well, you've got your Mars there. You've got the power. Mars can get bored easily, and it's on your midheaven, so just keep that in mind. Yep. Mars has to find, if Mars doesn't find ways to satisfy its need for challenges, for healthy challenges, it tends to be combative. Like it'll create, it'll instigate, it'll start shit. But your Mars is in Capricorn, which means it's a soldier. It's a well-trained soldier. Mars in Cappy is very disciplined. So I love Mars in Capricorn. When I see people have it, I'm like, oh, wish I had that. In a weird way, I do. That's the only reason I think I understand it, because in a weird way, I have a little taste of it in my chart, but it's not like that. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to figure out where. Let me go find the list. Yeah, I had it here somewhere. Let me keep scrolling. Oh, there's a short list. Lou's got a short list. Update nowhere. Sons of Ned Flanders. Aaliyah. I'll see if that last name sounds kind of familiar, but I don't know if I have birth digits. Okay, it's 11:02. Is anybody here? Is nowhere here? And nowhere do I have your digits. Let me see if I saved. Okay, let me save your stuff. That way you're in the system. Once you're in the system, you don't have to give your birth digits again. All right. All righty. Yeah. Whew. Let me go back. Oh, thank you so much for the gift. I think I got a kitty cat at the door. Thank you so much for the gift. Sinister Days for the channel gift. I appreciate that very much. Let So am I right? Nowhere that I don't have your digits because I just went back to check. Yes, I'm here, and I'm pretty sure you have. Oh, okay. Yes, you have been here before. Yeah, I think I keep getting you confused with another person that had kind of like a no something on their handle. Yeah, I got a kitty cat who's like knocking at the door. Yeah, I got nowhere. Look at this. November 9th, right? Yes, I got a cat at the door. Okay, let me go get her. She's starting to be like a little. She's starting to bang on the door. Okay, let me go get this kitty. Okay, Tap, I'm on my way. Was that you banging on my door, huh? Was that you banging on the door, little girl? Huh? Okay, you better come on up on the other side. Okay, come on. Are you coming? Well, I don't know what she's doing. She's just staring at me like I got. Come on. There you go, big girl. Okay, stay away from the candle. Come on over here. Come on over here. Okay, you want to go over there? She's like, I want to sit right up against you. Yes, I know you do. Sit right there. Okay, you can be right there. All right, let me get this off the screen. All right, so we got nowhere here. Nowhere here. All right, let's see what we're working with. Nowhere. What? That's the correct date. Yay. All right. So what am I looking at? Anything in particular? All right, we got you. So what am I checking out? Or you just want me to tell you whatever comes to me? That's what I'm going to do. Oh wait, nowhere. What's your question? Nowhere. You sent me a gift. Let me make sure I can get to your question. Unless you really do want me to just kind of tell you what jumps out at you or what comes to you. Okay, we can do that. Sometimes people kind of like that, right? Because, well, it's just what comes and what's being jumped out. Your moon actually kind of jumped out at first. And then your Venus. Your moon and then your Venus. They both kind of popped out. You got this Capricorn moon. Oh, it's cardinal. Oh. So you recently had. Oh, now I understand why. Your 8th house is lit up because you have. Oh, okay. Well, this is what's going on. So I know it just made it worse with all of that because there's just too much to look at. But if you look carefully, 12 degrees was the moon, right? And then the moon popped out, right? But Venus and Jupiter were conjunct and they were triggering that opposition to your moon. Yeah. They were sitting right here at 13 degrees together. And Jupiter would have been there long before Venus got there and triggered some stuff. So opposite of the moon is family and emotions. It's feminine energy, it's mom, but it's the history and it's the past too. So the moon in Capricorn can be a really difficult combination. Usually these folks may suffer from depression and fear. Um, Maybe your mom was that way. So this can be really tricky in our relationships with females because it's in your second house of love and desires. So your moon is there. Now, we could also flip it around and be like, well, I have a good relationship with mom. My mom's important to me. Family's important to me. Well, yeah, that too. But with Jupiter at the opposition, maybe it brought on, maybe it's possible that it didn't inflame emotions or fears, hopefully. Maybe the optimistic Jupiter energy. I mean, I'm being optimistic in saying this because it's Jupiter in the 8th house of the deep wounds. But, we've had a lot of people lately, and a lot of them have been cancers in the 8th house who have been coming for the last few weeks with Jupiter there and then Venus joining in. And so it talks about the wounds and the vulnerabilities from the past. And there's history here. So family, but it can also be love stuff too. Okay. Because your Venus is at 0. Now let me get rid of this. We just want to look at the natal chart because there's just so much there. Your Venus is at 0 degrees here. And it's in relationships. So it's significant one-on-one relationships. And that Venus trines a wound all the time. All the time. You've got Chiron at 1 degrees trining your Venus. So because Venus was up here in the house of wounds, maybe there was some stuff from the past, but because it's buried deep until we go through the processing of those wounds, we could have deep, intense emotions about something and someone and be surprised and not know where the hell it's coming from. Because if it's buried, we're not really aware of it. Like I know, well, I'm not going to go into details. I can't because I was going to give an example. But it had to do with family history. I had a recent conversation with somebody and there were some really Scorpio trauma shit from way back. And it was from childhood, Cancer energy, childhood, talking about childhood coming back, whether it's recall or somebody bringing it up or just the emotions surrounding it. But we could get stuff in dreams because it's Jupiter. Like a lot of stuff can come up. Either way, it's deeply bonded relationships. Now, the 8th house is also death and taxes and, and all that good stuff. But you had Jupiter in a quincunx to your natal Jupiter. So that creates some agitation, some irritation. Let me see if you had anything that created a nice trine for you. Okay, you did have some nice trine energy. Like right now, Jupiter is trining your sun, your Scorpio sun at 16. But even your Scorpio sun is in the 12th house of the hidden. You see, you have Scorpio, the trauma of Scorpio, the deep wounds of Scorpio. And the sun can be father figure, but it's how I create, how I stand out. It's quite personal. It's quite personal. But your sun can be dad, an authority figure, but it's at a mom degree. It's a combination. So maybe mom had to play the role of dad. Maybe dad was absent a lot or just working all the time or whatever. But having a son in the 12th house, dad could have been just not seen a whole bunch. Like I share that with you. I have a son in the 12th. And as a child, my dad was always working. And he was in our life. He came home every night, but the man was always busy, always working. So, that mixture can be complicated, but there's emotions involved with it, and they're going to be deep and intense because it's Scorpio energy. So right now, Jupiter is training that for you. training your ability to radiate and to stand out, which can be wonderful if that's what you're doing. If you want that, if you're in a communicative type mode or creating in some way, even if it's not using words, however you choose, because it's 12th house, sound, music, poetry. It's really creative. These people write screenplays. These people, yeah, you could, yeah, it's up to you, right? Scorpio is normally going to talk about and communicate about deep, intense stuff. It doesn't talk about the weather. It doesn't talk about the weather. If it's going to spend its time on something, it has to be deeply meaningful. That's Scorpio. And you have, your Mercury there. So it's born to communicate about that. That's its job. And it's even at the work degree, communicating, whether it's vlogging or writing or whatever the hell it is, news, whatever it is, because Scorpio is born for war. So like soldier energy and wounds from the past. But it is the 12th. So that's like overseas kind of stuff, but also soul history stuff. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag then. Because with Jupiter and Venus going through your 8th house of those wounds and the stuff with the family, but soul history and soul memory, I liken it as to being bittersweet. And I can think of myself, like I've had and a lot of people who've been here, especially like the last 2 weeks, talking about new connections, new deep connections being made. And then suddenly things were kind of cut short. So it's kind of bittersweet sometimes, right? And yeah, there could have been good, beneficial things. And hopefully, let me see if there's 13. That was a square. Oh, wow. It triggered some other squares in your chart for you at the time too. So I would love to say something like 8th house inheritances and like, ooh, cha-ching, I got some money. Because it triggers your Scorpio energy over there. But this would have been, well, you do have a midpoint coming up, a Uranus-Pluto midpoint. Oh, at 19. Oh. Well, that can be a surprise that brings about deep changes. Oh, no, it's really family too, because you got this down here at 17. Mom energy and family and the mother wound even. But this is so much. So this is oozing with the past. Oozing. Because you've got water in the water houses. I remember your chart now. It's been a minute since I've looked at it. Yeah. Water in the water houses. Just oozing with the past. So there's a lot of high level of intuition here. But just that dealing with the past. And what about judgments? Whether it's judgments of yourself, possibly with the appearance, because I'm looking at your Jupiter in your 1st house, and we know we got a Jupiter up here. And your Jupiter is conjunct vertex right now, by the way. Your vertex. I kind of love this. I kind of love this because the vertex, well, this is fated energy. So it can bring new people and new opportunities into your life, but they can also go quickly. So when the like inheritance type of stuff or sudden, people suddenly gone, I mean, sometimes it can be something really wonderful. Unless of course it's someone we're super close to, and then we're like, oh God, this is a real loss. This is painful, right? Nobody wants that. But that vertex can bring different opportunities. One door closes, 2 doors open, and Jupiter isn't going to be too fast. So with that Jupiter there on your vertex and deeply bonded energy, this means you have a vertex down here with your Pallas Athena. Ooh. That means you're going to have people that come into your life, things about making money in the future, long-term financial stability, cha-ching, income. But Pallas Athena is smart. So she's thinking, she gets information, which means you'll be connecting with people who can help you establish that long-term financial security or continue to grow it and build it, I will say. Because the building energy would be big with Capricorn in the second house. It is all about let's keep building, damn it. Let's keep building. Yeah. So your Virgo up there at the 17, your goals, the Virgo energy, that's the Leo degree up there. Very creative degree. So what happens when we mix Leo and Virgo together, right? Virgo tends to use tools. Somebody was just talking to me about that the other day. Like I'll give you an example. My housemate, one of them, super creative. This is kind of like her office space. And oh my God, she's got so many creative tools. It's crazy. Like so many things from weaving to I can't even name. Like you can just, yeah. They're tools that I don't know what they are. We'll put it like that. Making books, making paper, book binding, like just a lot of really like earthy, down to earth, not real flashy stuff, but Leo adds flash to it and color and originality. So I like this for you. I like it a lot. And yeah. Hopefully this moon stuff and the triggering of the Jupiter, because Venus pulled off. So there might be a little bit of, did I even look and see? Let me see your chart. Yeah, Jupiter's your greater benefic. So having that Jupiter in your 8th house, that can be a time where there can be surprises and some of them can be pleasant. Some of them can be pleasant. But it does ask us to explore the wounds of the past. This is kind of like a common theme tonight for everybody. To explore the wounds of the past. But for you, I don't think you should have too hard of a time unless you haven't kind of activated your Mercury. But if I remember correctly, yeah, that's something that you have well underway. Yeah, with that Pluto at 0 in Scorpio and your Saturn working in with the wounds in the past. Yeah, that's stuff you know how to do. So just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Now, Scorpio does not talk about the weather at all. It's going to be deep stuff, but healing. That's the whole goal. That's the whole point of what this is about. And I would imagine this should probably give you a whole lot of material, I would think. A whole lot of material and opportunities and people. That's going to be big. And real quick though, let me give you just a real quick timeline on that. Jupiter's sitting right now at 15. Oh, wow. Okay. And there's a midpoint right here too. Your sun and moon midpoint is right now here. Interesting. Really interesting. It just creates a point of beginning, is what that means. And so now Jupiter is going to, for right now, okay, so by the end of August, Jupiter is pulling away from your vertex. Okay. And then that's going to probably, hopefully things will, well, no, things are probably going to get exciting too, because you've got so much in Scorpio at the higher degrees here. And so as Jupiter gets higher in numbers, it's going to start triggering those things. But it just creates more communication, more opportunities for exploring the past, for digging deeper into the past and communicating about them and healing for sure. So I hope this helps. And I hope you are, like I've mentioned to other people tonight, if we need, whether you yourself are a therapist, because you've got that Virgo energy at the top, and Virgo isn't called a therapist, but it's all about the details with Virgo. And it is about alternative healing modalities with Virgo energy. So going through Jupiter and Cancer and the emotions of the past, and then your Mercury being triggered, the goal is to bring about the healing. So I hope this helps. Hmm. Oh, well, good for you. See? All right. Nowhere does not mess around. Look at that. Nowhere is like all about this stuff. Well, you saw how much nowhere had in Pluto. I'm sorry, in Scorpio. Even Pluto at 0 degrees. Change is part of this person's life. Change and transformation and healing. Yes. A psychologist contacted me on a dating website. Well, yeah, that would be the thing. Like I said to everybody else, I know I forgot to pull that back in, which is, yeah, if we need a professional, then we get a professional. There used to be such a stigma with it. Now I don't think there is anymore, but there could be. People can have ancient history hanging around their neck and not know it. You are welcome. I'm so glad it helped. And yeah. I don't know if you actually have your own chart where you look at your stuff. Because I know for myself in my life, like when I'm going through things, the only thing that ever helps me is I have to go look at my chart to understand and to better process what I just experienced. That's what it does for me. It helps me to process it and to be like, oh shit, no wonder. And I'm like, oh, now I get it. It just helps me to sort through some of the intensities or the confusion. Yeah, that's why I love it. Absolutely. You are welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So am I done? Is my night over? Was there someone else? Let me see. Okay, that was sinister. We took care of that one. Let me get back to Taffy. She just came in and she's already sitting out by the door again, I think. Let me see. Oh, she is. She's not even laying down. She's sitting up. You are next. Aaliyah is okay. Is Aaliyah here? That name sounded familiar. Is Aaliyah here? Going once, going twice. Aaliyah, are you here? I don't know if I have this person's digits. AL. No, I don't have this person. Unless they're under a different name. Well, we all know how that works. Aaliyah, she had tech issues. Okay. Oh, there's Aaliyah. You read me last week. I can hold off for you to have a great night. You're too kind. So I did draw your stuff up last week. Okay, I just lost my shoe. It's not really a shoe, but it's my wool slipper. I got it back. The air was on so cold I was gonna die. So okay, oh, that's gonna drive me crazy. I should have you in here now. It must have been under a different name. Ah, see? See? That helps. Yeah, I got it back. Got it back. Okay, East St. Louis. Was that the name? I do remember East St. Louis. Was that the name I put it under? Nope, that was must just have been the town. Oh, what the hell? Why don't I have this person's? Maybe I didn't save it? Huh. Well, yeah, this drives me crazy when I don't have something I'm supposed to have in here. Well, what we can try to do is to put it back in again. And then I can make sure I save it. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe I put it in and I didn't save it. So let's put it ALIE or ALIA. And then what do you have for a birth? What's your birthday? August 27th. Yeah, I remember that. Damn it. I remember looking at that chart. Maybe it was one of the last. Wow, we got a lot of folks tonight, huh? Some similar. Right. Military time. Yep, I remember that. So we were at 11:22. And it was a very wild read. Holy shit, really? I hope it was your chart. Did I read your birth chart, I'm assuming? Oh, Lou remembers it too. Okay. And so it is East St. Louis. Oh, crap. I just changed your birth. I don't know why I just did that. Okay. What the hell is that noise? Huh. I know sometimes we have cats hanging around outside. Okay, so it is Illinois. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so I got that. Maybe I didn't hit save. That's a really good possibility. Okay, so are you a Capricorn ascendant at 22 degrees? Let me get this up here real quick. It was a very wild read. Loved it. Yes, Lou. Okay. She's like, I just like watching you read. Okay, so let me get Lou's comment off of there. So you are 22 degrees Cappy. Wow. Say wow. Oh, hold on a second. All right, that's Taffy. Hold on. Little girl, we're almost done. You want to leave? You just got in here. It's boring already, huh? All right. Yes. Okay, so you're going to have your Jupiter return. Did I talk about that, I hope? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Oh shit. Okay. So you had wow. Well, we want to report. This should be the other way around. You had Jupiter training your 11th house cusp line. Oh, well, that was probably why you showed up here last week. I probably said that too. Because you were probably here and Jupiter probably was like at 12 or something. Maybe it was at 13. I don't know. It moves like 1 degree a week. So roughly. So yeah, you had, really. And then Venus would have been sitting here on your Sirius. So eventually you'll have a Jupiter return. What I think is really cool. Wait a minute. Where's your sun? Oh, wow. And it's your greater benefic. Oh, ooh. Jupiter's your greater benefic. Yeah, that is what jumped out at me was the Jupiter right when I pulled the chart up. So this is relationships to just go along with tonight's theme and the love connection for the last few weeks. Which I'm actually kind of grateful, believe it or not. I'm just, yeah. Sometimes it's just so much easier to talk about love connections than anything else. There's so much other heavy shit that I'm like, okay, yeah, let's just talk about love. So, did I mention that Jupiter's going to do a retrograde? Yeah, it's going to first touch your Jupiter at 24, and then when it gets to 25, it does a retrograde. So that intensifies like Jupiter's expansiveness and adding to partnerships and opportunities. Now, there's a teaching. One of my older teachers always said, when Jupiter is traveling and transiting through your 7th house, whatever you do, don't get married during that time. You basically have lots of opportunities, lots of options for partnerships. Yours is at the Pisces degree. So that's kind of also running along with tonight's theme because your Chiron's at 24. So that brings up the past. And the past with the family and mom and deep emotions and home and nurturing, but can also be like partners that are in foreign places or who are far away from you for whatever reason or distant and you're not able to see them. But there's a wound with it because it's an exact trine to your Chiron and it's communication and Saturn, right? It's just, it's exact. It's an exact trine to that. So what that tells me is the Jupiter will, of course, activate your retrograding Chiron. So these are wounds from the past, and the wounds from the past are part of your thought process in your mind. Okay. Anytime we have Pisces in the 3rd house, Pisces really colors what we see and hear, how we learn, how we communicate. Just our thinking process in general is Pisces energy. Pisces is really good at seeing the big picture, really good. So it can be a little wonky in the 3rd house of details because it will make the details really blurry. You follow? So this is really good energy for creating, obviously. Sound, music, painting, theatrics, drama. Like it's really, really, Pisces is really good for that. So the wounds from the past are like an institutional wound. So whether this is with religious figures, whether it's with hospitals, institutions, healing institutions, prisons, even government energy too. Yep, government energy can be judges even because Jupiter, ancient ruler, and you have Jupiter in the 7th house of open enemies and partnerships, but also lawyers. Lawyers part of this too. So courtrooms and the judicial systems, there's an activation that occurs when Jupiter gets there. So that's going to be a little bit of time before Jupiter gets there, though. And I mean months before Jupiter gets there. So that's not like right now. Okay. Yeah, that's not right now. So for right now, you're dealing with Jupiter and Venus sitting there in your 6th house. But yeah, what happened with the connection? Was there a love connection to your 11th house? And maybe it doesn't have to be a love connection, but a deep emotional bond, or at least a soul bond, right? Because when we think emotions, we think, we're in our feelings now in the present day. Scorpio is more, it's beyond that. It goes really deep, so we can make a connection. And I don't have to be all in my emotions to have a connection with somebody if it's a Scorpio connection. There can just be this soul familiarity there. And yours is with friends, group energy and friends, right? So whether they're, people who've had these wounds, who have, you know, who need healing, who've been through battles, like that's Scorpio stuff. Deeply intense energy. So this Jupiter, when it, let me show you the degree on this and the timeline, and then I'm going to stop there because you can always come back or join us for a private live or this Jupiter right now is at 15, so you can see it. So it is starting so that you can see this. Now let me move this. It is starting to communicate with your south node. You have your south node at 19, but you have midpoints like at 18, new moon midpoints. So it can create a new deep bond, a new beginning with healing, a new beginning, whether it's, it's friends and it's group energy. So group energy and friends that are all about, shit that matters. Maybe it's something different and exciting and new, like experimental, possibly even 11th house, because it's tech, but it's science. It's space, even 11th house, but definitely a really strong, independent energy because you've got Scorpio in Aquarius's house, in Uranus's house. So these people are passionate. They're just like, you aren't going to be the boss of me. And this is part of your superpower. And it's even conjunct Neptune. So the superpower might seem a little fuzzy because Neptune's at the same degree. Well, what's funny about that, not funny, but Jupiter is gonna trine all of this. So what I think you might feel is possibly some of the history, possibly some wounds, but it's a great opportunity again for healing because Neptune can also bring understanding and unify. So when it comes to your wounds, unlike the last chart that we saw where this person, like there was a lot there about the past and the history and the healing stuff, because Neptune can dissolve things and it's connected to your south node in Scorpio, it's like Neptune's already there automatically dissolving those wounds of the past. So I don't know if you work with the public or if you work with groups of people, but this can be beneficial for many others other than yourself, especially when Jupiter makes this connection. So it's already starting to make the connection and you'll experience it multiple times as Jupiter touches your Jupiter and then retrograde. So this is like for the rest of this year. Right. So just keep that in mind that there might be some intuitive stuff and some healing that comes about when the past resurfaces. Does that make sense? Oh, did I not get your chart right? Am I talking the whole time? Yeah, it says East St. Louis. Yeah, this is you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading something that was from, I don't know why I clicked over. So, yeah, this chart is East St. Louis. Yeah, so Aaliyah, this is you, right? 3 degrees moon in Aquarius and a 22 degrees ascendant. The intuition off the charts. Well, that's the Jupiter energy, man. It is definitely going to do that. It's in the water energy. So it brings like this, again, this intuitive stuff about, because it's in Cancer, stuff about the past, but the present and the future. Like we connect so many dots. And for you, you have so much going on. And it's probably can bring stuff that's a little surprising because of the 11th house and that Uranus thing. It can bring like shocks and surprises about the history, about the past, about the trauma. So whether it's you working with other people or getting information, like I know people where they can be around people, for a short amount of time, and these people may not even exchange words with them, but the body, because Mars is the ruler of your Scorpio stuff, along with Pluto, your body can intuitively pick up and feel. So it's not just like all here, right? I forget what it's called. I forget that there's a term for it. Anyway, it's when we're physically intuitive. Okay. And I don't mean like picking up an object and I'm not talking about like that psychometry. I'm not talking about psychometry at all. It's very different. It's, somebody's standing near me, somebody's in the same space as me, and all of a sudden, whatever pain or whatever their sensation they're feeling somewhere in their body, I can feel it in that same spot in my body. And I feel it as though it's happening to me, yet I know it's not. Yet I know it's not mine. It's a very interesting experience. So this to me, when there's this south node connection with Neptune there, strong connection, these are possibilities if you haven't already experienced them. So it can open up new intuitions. Yes, intuitive healer, empathy, absolutely. My gut tingles, yeah. It can totally increase it then. If you're already getting that stuff, it can increase it. Yeah. It can totally do that. And, if it's not something that you want, like to be in your space because you just, I don't know, some people it's exciting, it's different, it's new. But then for some people, it's like, okay, so what am I supposed to do with this? Like and then some people just don't have the strength or the energy to be bothered, right? It just depends on where you're at in your life, And so if that's the case, yeah. But with a Chiron in Pisces, that is a signature for healers. A signature is when Chiron is in Pisces. And you have it again at the Pisces degree. So it can really bring about the understanding and healing of old trauma. So, hopefully you have access to people who can benefit from your gifts. Last week was right, and my Chiron and all is still correct too. Okay. Okay. So, I think that's it. I think that's it. One last thing is that Venus will be able to give you some hints because she's going to move fast. She moves way faster than Jupiter. And she's going to start talking to all this Scorpio stuff that you have up here. And then she'll talk to your Chiron. You follow? She'll talk to your Chiron. And Venus wants peace and harmony. She just wants peace and harmony. She's not a fighter. She's a lover. She wants things to be beautiful, to look beautiful, to smell beautiful, to taste beautiful. Like that's Venus energy. She wants peace and harmony. And having her connect with your Chiron first and with your South Node and your Neptune, she can kind of give you a little foresight as to what it will feel like when Jupiter gets there, because they're both the two benefics of the zodiac. And so if we're paying attention, I don't know if anyone's mentioned this to you, but the group healing and using your words for healing. So writing third house, right? But group healing. I used to have a friend who was really just, I don't know who the guy was that she would go to see, but she would always talk about, I think she was highly impressed with him. He would do work with people in the crowd, literally the entire crowd. I was never there. I don't know anything about it. I never watched it. I'm just sharing what she shared, but anytime he would make an appearance or come to wherever, like she never missed it. She loved it. And I just I don't know. For me, yeah, I don't know. But everybody's different. Um you're not a night chart. Just so I can clarify that for you. Your sun is above the horizon. You're a day chart because your sun is above the horizon. I see what you're saying, but you pay attention to the sun. Your sun is above. That means the sun was out when you were born. We could see the sun up in the sky when you were born. That's a day chart. Jupiter is your greater benefic. You follow? Oh, yeah, I totally understand that. That's Neptune. That is so Neptune. Totally Neptune. Big time. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't go by your birth time. I know. I know. You go by the astrology chart. So the astrology chart with your 11/22 birth time. I know that just sounded crazy what I said. I said don't go by your birth chart. We went through this last week. Real quickly, we're going to go through it again. Your birth time is 11:22 p.m. But the sun in your chart, because of your birth time and your location, okay, it shows that the sun was above the rising sign. The rising and the descendant just create like an imaginary line across your chart. Okay. 22 degrees of Cancer and Capricorn. That's draws the horizontal line, right? Anything above that, which is your sun, means we could see the sun. We can see the sun. It's above that line. Okay, because this is the horizon. This is the horizon, and the sun was above the horizon. All right? That means you're a day chart. A day chart means Jupiter is your greater benefic. And Mars is your great malefic. Malefic, which means Mars can inflame things and make life difficult for you. And it's in your 7th house of partnerships. All right. So with that, we can pick back up next week. Yep. For more questions about things like that in terms of understanding the chart. Holy crap. Last week I was the person with the night chart. What the hell? What? How is that possible? So I just read a chart that's not your chart. Is that what you're telling me, that this is not your chart? Okay. Well, then I guess I should have waited because I don't understand anything now that's going on. I just assumed that this chart was correct. When I saw 3, yes, yes, yes. I'm confused. My other chart was correct? Wow. Well, this just really puts a monkey wrench into things. So this chart is not your chart. Okay, well, I need to get rid of it. It's not your chart. I don't know. I guess that's a mystery for next week then. Yeah, a mystery for next week. All right, guys, we're all done. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Lou, for taking over, keeping things in order. I greatly, greatly appreciate. Thank you, everybody who sent a gift to the channel. That keeps me doing this. Otherwise, I feel like, why the hell am I doing this? I mean, not really, because I'm an astrology geek. I'd be doing it regardless, but it's just nice to know that there is appreciation for it. And I would still be doing astrology. I just might change what I'm doing. You follow? So that's what I meant to say, I guess, was that it says to me, okay, yeah, we'll keep doing this. People appreciate it. All right. See you guys next week. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.